Aaron Rodgers was put under a lot of pressure by that Chargers front. They were physical, they were fast, they were getting after him, and the best thing about it is in the four-man rush, they were all tied together, which you have to be against a quarterback as good as Aaron Rodgers. But maybe the most impressive thing is that Jesse Minter and that Chargers group were committed to not bring extra guys in the pass rush. They didn't blitz Aaron Rodgers once. And when you have a quarterback as surgical as Rodgers, you can't give him any freebies by allowing him to know where he wants to go with football pre-snap, by being able to tip your hand when it comes to being able to bring 5, 6, 7 rushers. So I thought that was a little wrinkle within the Chargers game plan that gave them an opportunity to put the clamps on that Pittsburgh Steelers offense. Aaron Rodgers was pressured 8 times, he was hit 5 times, and he was 0 of 5 with a pick on throws of 15 yards or more downfield. Ooh. That is lights out when it comes to pass defense. So credit to the Chargers defensive front for being able to set the tone, and credit to Jesse Minter and Jim Harbaugh for having a hell of a game plan. But yeah, Aaron Rodgers did not cover himself in glory last night. He was not able to elevate that offense to the level that they needed to in order to keep pace with what the Chargers had going on.
And to keep pace with what the Ravens are doing in the AFC North. Vegas has been predicting this for quite some time. And even though we didn't believe in the Steelers, we also didn't believe in the Ravens. And when you have your quarterback in Aaron Rodgers, a guy who's that accomplished, who has that much success across his career, looking like that last night, you're not going to beat many good football teams. Incompletions, fumbles, the turnovers, it was just bad for Pittsburgh. And I'm looking at the Baltimore Ravens, and I'm starting to become a believer in them. I know that earlier in the season with Lamar, they weren't great, but they're becoming healthier. Lamar obviously is such a difference maker for them out on the football field. And if you're Mike Tomlin and that presser last night, did you tell on yourself a little bit? Did you let the world know how much pressure you're feeling when you're looking at your team missing a huge opportunity to run away with this division?
When you say pressure from whom?
What do you mean pressure?
What do you mean pressure?
The organization, the fan base?
Evan, they had a 3-game lead in the division less than a month ago.
That's right.
And now it's evaporated. And according to our FPI, the Pittsburgh Steelers are only favored in 3 of the remaining 8 games. So Mike Tomlin is in danger of having his first losing season in 19 years as the guy in Pittsburgh. That's the kind of pressure that Smalls is talking about, that Mike Tomlin is feeling. There is no excuse for the Pittsburgh Steelers not to win the AFC North, and yet it's starting to feel like it's trending in that direction, and I don't know that anybody in that building has the answers in order to change it. That's the pressure.
Aaron Rodgers post-game on his performance and his team potentially, let's be honest, blowing this lead in the AFC North.
Yeah, I think I need to. I expect to play great every single week, and this was not my best performance. I got to play better than this for us to win, whatever it takes. I got to make if it's better checks, if it's better throws, whatever it is, I got to play better. I will, but we got to bounce back. We got a division opponent next week. We're 5-4. We're ahead by a game in the division, and we got to play better on offense for sure. But this is part of the season. There's ebbs and flows, there's ups and downs, and can't ride the wave. I felt like our energy, and it starts with me. It wasn't as great on offense. I felt like we were just kind of struggling a little bit and couldn't get a play to get going. We always say we just get a first down, we usually score on that drive, and we had so many 3-and-outs, and we hurt ourselves with a couple penalties, and I didn't play very good at all. So I got to play better, but we also got to realize, listen, we got 4 division games left to play. It's a long season, and it's a good opponent, and we didn't play very good tonight.
Guys, you know what's amazing? Aaron Rodgers' numbers this year. He has 18 touchdowns and 7 interceptions. On the surface, that feels like a pretty good touchdown-interception ratio. Do you know he has already thrown more interceptions this year than their quarterbacks combined did last year?
Oof.
And their quarterbacks combined last year were Russell Wilson, Justin Fields, and Kyle Allen.
Not great.
Think about that for a second. Think about the idea that their 2 quarterbacks that primarily they had last year, Russell Wilson, now he may have to start for the Giants after the unfortunate injury to Jackson Dart, but he was benched. Justin Fields didn't even throw for 100 yards yesterday in the Jets' win over the Browns, but the owner of the team has basically said he can't throw the football. And Aaron Glenn, to his credit, is like, I don't care what he's saying. I'm going to try to win games this way. Those 2 guys were laughed at times this year. And statistically, they were better a year ago at times for the Steelers than Rodgers is this year.
Well, you also have to wonder, as they're watching their lead in the division evaporate, if we'll see the warm, fuzzy feelings that we've had all season long between Aaron Rodgers and Mike Tomlin evaporate as well. When you have Mike Tomlin in the postgame presser being that curt about his quarterback's performance, and Aaron Rodgers has been the consummate professional so far in Pittsburgh. He's done everything that Mike Tomlin has asked. He's become one of the guys. He has not made it about him. But if this continues to be a downward spiral, will we see things start to flare up in that way in Pittsburgh?
I'm sure there's going to be – Mike Tomlin has never been one to bite his tongue, so I'm sure there's going to be more tension if things continue to go spiraling in Pittsburgh. But if you're Mike Tomlin, a part of the reason why you ditched the other two quarterbacks you had last year and you went with a guy like Aaron Rodgers is because you don't expect that he's going to make the mistakes that we saw in last night's game. The safety – the sack fumble in the end zone and the safety by Khalil Mack in the first quarter. What are you doing? Mm-hmm. That's the quarterback doing way too much. The interception that he threw to R.J. Mickens in the second quarter, that set up the first touchdown in the game. Before that, it was a baseball score. So like the 4th and 6 in the low red zone in the third quarter, yeah, it's a missed throw to DK Metcalf, but those are the types of plays that Aaron Rodgers routinely makes. And then the pick he had in the fourth quarter when you were going through the last gasp, again, those are uncharacteristic of a quarterback that is a future first ballot Hall of Famer. If you're Mike Tomlin, I get the frustration that you have toward the quarterback play that you saw, just because it's supposed to be significantly better than what you got last year, and it wasn't last night when you had to have it in a primetime game with the Baltimore Ravens starting to build momentum.
We may end up being right about all of this from where we started this year, right? We said the Steelers could finish with their first losing record under Mike Tomlin, and this is how Rodgers goes out. I will also say, as a caveat to that, or as an add-on to that, how they will get there is not how I anticipated they would get there. Not with a huge lead, blowing a huge lead. I know, CC, you said just because a huge lead with this team recently doesn't actually matter. For me, this is not how I expected them to get there. But a great win by the Chargers last night. They've won 3 in a row. Problem is the team ahead of them, the Denver Broncos, have won 7 in a row. All right, coming up, we will go through...
Steelers Nation, listen up. The loss to the Chargers stung badly. A 25-10 home defeat that exposed our offense's vulnerabilities and reminded everyone that when things go wrong, we go wrong fast. The passing game faltered, big plays evaporated, and veteran Aaron Rodgers looked every bit the 41-year-old trying to carry too much. But in that wreckage lies opportunity, and that opportunity has a name: Marquez Valdes-Scantling. Let me walk you through why this matters. Our offense, especially the receiving core, has lacked depth, upgrade, and reliability down the stretch. Against the Chargers, it showed clear. Rodgers was under siege, deep shots missed, the chain-moving options practically vanished. The article says it plainly. The team's offense went from improving to awful in a hurry. The passing game was particularly brutal. Without a dependable second or third receiver, every defense can zero one side and collapse the rest. Enter Marquez Valdes-Scantling, a veteran receiver with trusted pair of hands, a big-bodied frame, past chemistry with Rodgers, they played together in Green Bay, and the speed to threaten vertically. According to analysis, he remains a deep threat who can stretch the field and take some pressure off DK Metcalf, opening lanes, forcing defenses to account for more. He brings a very tangible fix to what broke down: reliable options, separation, and veteran savvy. One write-up calls him a productive deep threat that can stretch the field and take defensive attention away. Exactly what Pittsburgh needs. Imagine this. Opponents stack for Metcalf. They dare someone else to beat them. Valdes-Scantling runs a seam, hauls in a contested catch. Rodgers looks around and sees another target. The chain advances, the drive continues. That's the fix. That's the boost. That's the difference between being one-dimensional and being unpredictable. But it's more than just what he can do, it's how he fits. Pittsburgh's offense needs a boost, not a rebuild. A veteran who knows his role can step in and contribute in Week 10, Week 11, not 6 months down the road. Valdes-Scantling ticks that box. He also gives Rodgers someone he already trusts, which matters when chemistry and time are precious. The article highlights that very point. They need a player who is trustworthy in the open field and can be a player that Rodgers goes to in a jam. That player just might be Marquez Valdes-Scantling. This kind of move isn't luxury, it's necessity. The window is open, the stakes are high. Yes, there are questions. How much speed is left? How consistent is he in this role? Can he adjust to a new offense and make an immediate impact? Some reports suggest he was working out with the Steelers, in the mix for the practice squad, debating options. But I ask, when you're in this moment, do you gamble on perfect or do you act on opportunity? Pittsburgh needs action. So here's the call. Steelers Nation, we can still salvage something special this season. We don't just need a rebound, we need a surge. And adding Marquez Valdes-Scantling could trigger that. It signals to the other teams in the North, we saw our flaws. We addressed them. We're not stepping back, we're stepping up. It's not just about one addition. It's about message, culture, momentum. Now I want to hear you. What do you think? Do you believe Marquez Valdes-Scantling is the upgrade our offense desperately needs? Would you make the move now? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If you believe this is the right direction, smash that like button. And if you aren't subscribed to Steelers Nation Wire, hit it now because we'll be all over this story. Let's ride this wave together, rebound strong, and show the league that black and gold don't just survive, they dominate. Let's go, Steelers Nation.